Hey, what's up, guys? Got another new video here. Tuned in Sports. My name's Bryson.
I'm Bennett.
I'm Don.
I'm Steve.
And we've got the last video for our teams, the last Week 17 review for our teams, because none of our teams did crap this year. So we're all going to be watching the playoffs from the couch.
Well, they did crap in a lot of it.
That's a very true statement. But yeah, I mean, in terms of winning, none of us could figure it out. I think the average for the table was 4 wins,
Right around there.
or 5 maybe. So that just screams perfection. But anyways, regardless, we're gonna go ahead and get into the last review of the season. Make sure you go back and check out our other reviews for each of the weeks, because there was a lot of good content in there. And it's sure
the same content.
Yeah, I was gonna say, or just watch one of them and you've probably seen the other ones also. But you know, make sure you check those out, and it's sure to be another good video that we're gonna polish it off with here. So we'll go ahead and start with the Bengals. They had a lovely performance today, 38-3. You know, just like I said in the preview, I thought the Ravens were gonna win this game. I wasn't sure it was gonna be this bad, but you know, John Harbaugh, I have a lot of faith in him as a coach. And, you know, for the most part, he takes care of games that they're supposed to win. And that's what happened here. And the Bengals, you know, they kind of look like a team that was just trying to get to the end of the season today, honestly. And, you know, it'll be interesting to see what the Bengals do over the offseason. I think if they make the right moves, then they could do some good things going into next year. The fact that they only won 4 games or whatever and then tied 1, I think, you know, that's a decent start, I guess. I don't think they were expecting to do too much this year, but you saw a lot of good things in the areas that you were looking, and you saw some glaring weaknesses. So going into the offseason, I think it's clear what they need to do. And if they needed any further help in noticing the problems, well, the Ravens just gave them a big pat on the back with today's performance on what they need to work on. So, you know, good for the Bengals. Didn't blow their draft position or anything. So, yeah, good for them.
Most definitely. I would suggest that, I mean, they got a lot of nice things to look forward to, I think, in Cincinnati. Provided that Burrow was healthy. I liked a lot of what I saw from him this season. He really, I thought, outshined the rest of the rookies outside of maybe, what's his name in San Diego or Los Angeles. But Herbert played well, but I really think Burrow was the cream of the crop there when healthy. I think he proved a lot. Had the team in pretty much all the games outside of one, I think, that they got blown out. But
that was another one against the Ravens.
Right.
And they got blown out by the Steelers the one time. But other than that, they were.
No, I mean, but he showed that he can play, and that's really what you wanted to see from him. Yeah. You know, it's just going to be whether or not he comes back healthy enough to play week 1, because they're going to need him for sure. Hopefully, you know, they'll address some of the needs in the offseason. I mean, they were super aggressive this past offseason, which was, for Bengals fans, something that they're not used to seeing. So it was probably a nice thing for them to be aggressive like that. Hopefully it'll turn into more wins, though, like doing it that way again, hopefully this year. As far as today's game, I didn't expect them to show up. I mean, they don't really have anything to gain. As much as I know it's nice to drop an egg on, you know, somebody going to the playoffs or whatever, but they don't have the talent to play with them right now, and they had a lot of guys out, so it wasn't going to happen. But overall, I mean, if you're a Bengals fan, you know, you got to keep your chin up. I think things are going in the right direction there, but we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, that was a performance normal with Ravens. I was thinking that maybe Cincinnati might have shown up a little bit more than what they did. But then, when you start throwing offers and then have 2 picks, I don't know what his QBR was. Allen was just like out to lunch today. I mean, it was just brutal, what stat line he had.
Yeah.
And, it was just
I'll say.
it was just embarrassing as quarterback play. But all in all, again, if Burrow comes back to what he was doing when he was healthy, they're definitely going to be much more improved. Again, I think it was a good season. I think they would have probably won just maybe 1 or 2 more with Burrow at the helm than what they had, which would have put them just in line, actually above the schedule of 3 or 4 wins, kind of where I was thinking they were going to be for his first year, which most rookies are there. So, again, we'll see what happens, and if they can make the more moves in the offseason and they pay off, and we'll see what happens. Again, I know next year's everybody's, even now, every one of us here are going, next year we got, everybody's got positive thoughts already, even though we just put a freaking turds on the field, all 4 of our teams. We're going to sit here and go, we're going to have a chance if we do this. No, we don't have a chance.
Yeah, and guess what?
We can't even get the 500. Once you get the 500, then we might actually talk about having a chance.
We're all, and guess what? We're all picking in the top 10 this off season for the draft. So,
so
it's a beautiful thing.
Awesome.
So, like I said, there's a lot more work to be done besides just a piece here and there. Okay. So unless a lot of things fall in place, I don't, again, our hope should be just get it to 500.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah, yeah, I mean, as far as my take on the game, like he was saying, Brandon Allen, after last week's performance, for him to come out and throw 6 of 21, 48 yards and 2 interceptions.
He's right back in the Broncos carousel.
I think he got brought down to earth a little bit.
A little.
Yeah.
Not just a little bit.
48 yards. That's
a really nice throwing day. The sad thing is that we actually were running it all right. Samaj P. Ryan had 9 carries, 51 yards. Travion Williams, 4 carries, 74 yards. Those guys were running well.
Yeah.
So, I mean, this was just a terrible game for the Bengals. And like they said, though, I mean, I don't think we were really playing for anything anyways. So, really, what good does it do for us to get a win here? No, as much as I would have liked to, put a stop on the Ravens playoff hopes again, didn't end up working out that way. So
just by a little bit.
You had one team motivated and one team that didn't really have anything to play for. So there you go.
Yeah,
which was kind of sad because they've actually been playing well.
Yep.
That was the thing that I was going off of, is that they're actually been playing some good ball.
Yeah.
And this is just like, okay.
This looks like Jim Schwartz.
This was reminiscent of a team that had just thrown in the towel on the season, but they hadn't been playing like that the last handful of weeks, so it doesn't match up with what we've been seeing from them. So it's just weird.
For a couple off-season things to look forward to, I mean, we did get rid of our O-line coach, D-line coach, and some other assistant. I don't remember exactly what he was a coach of, but that's pretty positive signs. Just because, I mean, our O-line coach, our O-line and D-line are our biggest,
problem areas.
Yeah, biggest problem areas. So get rid of the coaches that obviously aren't doing that great of a job. I like it.
What do you think happens if they fire the coach? Because I know there's rumors about that too.
Yeah.
So what would happen? What would you think would happen if that happened?
Marvin Lewis is coming back.
Yeah. Nah, he's headed to the Lions.
It'd be. Welcome to the bungle, Bob.
I don't know who would be looking at if he was.
Do you want him to fire him or no?
Hey, Matt,
I don't
Patricia's
think
available.
Yeah, hey, we can see how much work he has to do there.
I would give
From that
him.
standpoint.
Hey, Peterson and Fangio are accounted for, so lay off.
I know that Jim Schwartz.
We ain't got no worries on this end of the table.
Whoa.
I
Those
feel
guys
bad
are
for you
wrong.
guys.
Yeah,
You're sad.
Hey, you guys gonna get nailed for tampering? Or?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I'm hearing we're
give us
trying-
some point, give us a draft pick. Maybe not that fifth, so looks good to me.
Yeah, we're also looking to get rid of our defensive coordinator as well. I've read. So
Jim Schwartz will be available.
that's what I was thinking. I would really like it if they did that.
Yeah. Now he's gonna be sought after for sure.
But just overall, I don't think. I think we should give Taylor at least one more season, and then
Yeah, I agree.
That's what I think so, because you can't have too many changes. Because right there, what you just told me is like, well, that's a lot of changes.
Yeah.
I mean, that's going to happen.
Yeah.
And
So-
that's not including all the changes that they might make at
Usually-
Just
personnel.
personnel. I mean,
Just
that's
personnel.
coaches.
Yeah.
And usually, though, those changes are necessitated by the head coach fearing for his job. So he says, "I'll get rid of the problem areas, so he can save his own ass." Right?
Yep,
I mean,
exactly.
seriously.
Yep.
That's why those changes happen. Hence,
Yeah, so
Jim
if,
Schwartz.
so if he was
Philadelphia,
able,
right?
so if he was able to get fired, or if he ended up getting fired, it would be like, oh great, now you put yourself in the hole even more because you got rid of all these guys that could have maybe been there for the next coach, but you fired them and you got fired. So now you got even more positions. So yeah, I think it would be a very bad decision to get rid of him after this year because you're saying, hey, come in here and learn a new offense. We're going to have a new people. And then on top of that, some of these guys that you have in there now that maybe aren't positions that need to be filled may not work for his system or what his vision. It could be disastrous. It could take him back years.
And not only that, but we actually improved from last year's record. So,
No, but at least it's not one. I mean, you know what I mean? At least it was like, hey.
and you know what? We beat the Steelers, which is something the other coaches that we've had can't do.
You know what I mean? That's, like I said, it's just weird.
So
But
we'll see what happens. But I look forward to seeing what's going to happen with
But
him.
I mean, if Adam Gase can be fired, no one's safe.
I mean,
Bill Belichick might be next.
you know.
But anyways, I guess we'll go ahead and
Speaking
move
of
on.
transitioning, we'll go to the Lions.
Yeah. Speaking of transitions and filling a lot of positions, let's get into the Lions game next. It's nice to see the Lions come out and compete again this week. They put up a fight, even though they're a team that really didn't have anything to gain from doing so. They don't even know who the coach is going to be. They don't know who the GM is yet. They don't know what direction the one or the other wants to take this team. I mean, there's just a whole bunch of things up in the air, and you just have a bunch of guys running around. And, I mean, if I was a free agent or somebody, that's looking towards the future in terms of wanting to play somewhere that I have a good chance at winning, I'm looking at this town and saying this looks like a whole lot of losing coming soon. I mean, don't get me wrong. If they get, well, I'm just saying a whole lot more losing. Let's just put it that way. A whole lot more losing. So if I'm looking at that as a,
They want to do the Caldwell, the Patricia.
yeah. Well, but the difference is they have the talent of the Chiefs. So I mean, speaking real quick back to the Bengals, I think what they need to do is have Reggie Ragland come over and assess the talent.
Yeah.
He'll tell them where they're at, and then you know what to do from there. But anyways,
He's one of those hype men. Pay him a lot of money. He goes, "Oh man, you're great."
But anyways, I mean, I'm just saying, from a free agency standpoint, I'm looking at it and I'm saying, yeah, I'm going to take my talents elsewhere. So with that being said, you got a bunch of guys running around that, probably if I was them, I'd be looking for a way out. If they're not contracted or, don't want to test their value in the trade market or whatever. And then on top of that, you got insurance at the coaching position moving up, and then it just looks like a giant mess. And then your quarterback, there's rumors about him going after the season too, so you don't even know that. So for all of that being said, if I was a player, I don't know if I'd be like, yeah, I'm not gonna get hurt out here for this crap, and I'm gonna find my way out of here at the end of the year as quickly as possible. So with all that being said, the fact that they showed up the way that they did today, I give them a hell of a lot of props to go out there to make the game competitive. They got stomped by Tampa last week, but they didn't have any coaches, or at least any people that at least had some coaching something or other, and so they got stomped last week. But to rebound off that, come out here and put up a tough fight against Minnesota, who I believe is a team that was getting better towards the end of the season. Props to them. I give them a lot of props from the quarterback on, because Stafford the last however many games, looks like a guy that probably shouldn't have been out there, and a lot of guys wouldn't be. Just look no farther than the Eagles roster. There's probably guys were hurt a hell of a lot less than Stafford that have missed multiple games, and he's out there dealing with this injury, that injury, the other injury, and he's still out there throwing it around. So nothing but respect for how they played, for the people that went out and played, and all that stuff, and the fact that they lost. Who really gives a crap? Only hurts the draft status.
One of many.
It just, one of many, exactly.
One of many losses.
So instead of saying, man, how did they manage to not win this game because they had the game at points and it looked like they were going to win and then they gave it up, instead of going that route, I'm going to say, congrats to the Lions on a good performance today, and they did a hell of a lot better than I thought that they might. So I give them props for that, and even though they lost, it is what it is. Great performance.
Yeah, hell of a job today by the Lions. Nothing to play for, exhibit just like the Bengals. That would have been exact. The Cats today would have been something that they could just laid around and look themselves.
Yep.
Would have been fine. Gold star again as usual to Stafford. There should be no reason why he should have been out there, but then he comes out and balls out. Just does what Stafford does. Kudos to him. And then, the NFL sure had to fix their way to get them to lose this game today. That weight on the quarterback sack was just a joke. And then the bomb that Stafford completed for a touchdown, they said it hit the ground, which it just hit his arm, and then it made a movement, but then he still caught it in the end zone. And it's just like, whatever. But for them to play that hard and get so close to win today, major props to the team. So I thought the Lions played great. So hopefully Stafford comes to Denver.
It was,
and hopefully Marvin Jones comes to Philly.
It was too.
We'd take Galladay too if they want.
Yeah, it was too. Our performance compared to the Lions was pretty much opposite. The Lions managed to actually put up a solid performance today. After, like you guys were saying, they missed a lot of their coaches last week against the Bucs, and I think that was one of the main reasons they lost last week. Just with coaches being out there that have pretty much no, play calling experience. So, you're just going to struggle. You're just going to struggle when that happens. And, with them having at least, their head coach back probably and some other coaches, I'm sure that helped them quite a bit. And, props to Stafford. He's been pretty hurt over these past couple weeks. Managed to come out and put on a solid performance. The Lions got an interesting offseason to look forward to because, they're looking for a coach. GM. Granted, I mean, if it goes anything like the past, it won't matter. So we'll see. But yeah, overall good performance.
Mm-hmm. No, it was actually. I was actually pretty proud of the team today. Sad day. I hate to see Stafford go, because I don't think he's going to be back. And he's been the heart and soul of that team since he's been there. Truly, I think, in my lifetime anyway, the best talent at quarterback they've ever had. Been the most consistent. There's a lot of haters out there and want to blame him and say, oh, he's a second-rate quarterback, this and that. And, well, granted, they haven't won a lot of games, but it's not because of him. The team's just been shitty forever, so it hasn't mattered who the quarterback is. But today's performance was really nice to see. I really thought they had a chance to win it. They had a lot of guys out. A couple of the offensive linemen were playing defensive line. Crazy stuff that they're having to do right now. The defense is as bad as it's ever been. I don't think the defense has been worse than it is right now. I mean, you can go out and score 35 and you're still not scoring enough points to win. It's just sad. And, I mean, I think they have the worst defense in the league. And it's showing up. But we had a, defensive guru in that Matt Patricia. He really knew what he was doing there. He had a lot to do when he got there. He had to rebuild this. But with that being said, hats off to the guys like Don and those guys said. Given the circumstances, they didn't have much to play for. And, they didn't give up. They didn't quit. And they made a close game out of it. If indeed Stafford does leave, he's,
he's going to be sought after by a lot of teams.
No, he'll end up somewhere. I just hope that if he does go somewhere, that he goes somewhere where he can win. I'd like to see
besides the Steelers, please.
I'd just like to see him have a chance to win. Because I think he's got that kind of talent. I think if he was on the right setup, I think he could do real well. If he went to San Francisco or something, I think they'd be right in the running for it. There's a lot of places out there I think would be a good fit for him. But anyway, kind of a miserable season. It didn't go like I wanted it to. Of course, I can say that every year, and nothing never goes the way I want it to. But this year in particular, I was hoping that we could change it around and see some positives. And the reality of it is there's not a whole lot of positive to look at. I think Swift looks pretty good as the running back. And I don't know what to think of Okuda. He didn't play that much. And when he did play, I didn't, see that much that was too impressive. But we'll see what happens. They got a lot of moves coming. The team's going in a totally different direction, which is probably needed. Hopefully they can get the right mixture of GM and coach to be able to turn this thing around. But it still comes down to the management, the ownership. If the ownership keeps the mindset that they've had the last 60-some-odd years or whatever it's been, then don't look for any changes. It's going to be the same fucking shit show as it's been. I don't care who the coach is or who the GM is. If the ownership doesn't want you to win, you're not winning. And that's been the one constant through all the crap, has been the ownership. They've changed coaches. They've changed upper management. They've brought in GMs. They've brought in new coaches. And then they finally bring in a coach that's got a winning record and fire him. So, this has just been a typical scenario where this ownership is clueless. And then they bring in people that the first thing on a press conference they say is, I'm not a football guy. So, that tells you a lot right there about why we suck. So, I'm hoping, the things I've heard from this Sheila Hemp Ford, so far sounds good. Like, like she might want to change things and want to get the team right, but I'm not going to believe it until I see it, because there's nothing to me that suggests that we should be enthusiastic about anything that's taking place. We've seen it all before. I've heard so many press conferences with coaches and GMs coming in there saying, "Oh, I'm going to change this around," and it's always the same story. So we'll see what happens, going into next season. I'm hopeful that maybe if we get the right pieces in there, that something can change, and they do the right things to change the fortunes of this team. God knows the fans deserve it. I mean, to me, it's amazing they have any fans left. I mean, year after year of disappointment, taking some of the best players in NFL history and ruin their careers. I mean, Barry Sanders is as good as it gets running the ball and had nothing to show for it, other than some exciting plays, that were on film. But other than that, not a whole lot of wins. And anyway, that's all I've got to say about the Lions.
Okay. Well, let's go ahead and get into the Broncos game next. Another loss. Yeah. You want to start off with that one?
Broncos? Yeah, I saw some of that game today, actually.
Sorry.
You had the pleasure of watching it.
Yeah, we saw some of that.
Oh, goody.
At the shop. I saw a little bit of that game, actually. That's okay. As long as I'll probably get more viewership if I'm not on it. Seriously. No, I watched some of that game today. It's about what I thought I'd see. I mean, every time the Raiders and Broncos get together, it's always a close game, usually field goal, something like that. I wasn't shocked at the outcome. Either way, I think it would have been suitable. I mean, in this way, I mean, the Broncos actually benefit from getting a little lower draft pick. I mean, and that's how I look at this. I mean, they didn't really have any reason to win that game. There's nothing to gain from it. I mean, from a Raiders standpoint, I mean, there's really nothing really there that you had to win either. So somebody had to lose. So in this case, it might as well be Denver. If this was a season like what Denver's used to seeing back in the day, well, yeah, we wouldn't have been in this position to begin with, where we're sitting there with 4 wins or whatever the hell they have coming into this game. And so, I mean, from a Broncos fan standpoint, yeah, you're frustrated as you want to be, but they got some question marks, and I mean, who knows? Like you said, I mean, there's some talk that Stafford might go there, who knows what's going to happen. I think if Stafford went to Denver, it would be a really nice spot for him to land. He's got a ton of, it would be nice for him to actually have a defense, where he didn't have to fucking score every time he had the ball in his hand. But anyway, I mean, I wasn't surprised by anything. I mean, it was a frustrating year. Denver was hit, with injuries so bad that it kind of deflated their season, right off the bat. So, it's just kind of continuation of what we've been seeing. The play calling has always been suspect, and, I don't know what they think of Locke at this point, whether they think he's actually got something or maybe as a backup, or who knows. He'll probably get traded to Detroit. Lucky for him.
It'll just be a straight across move.
Yeah, Stafford for Locke. Okay.
Yeah, here you go.
I want a 7. Hey, New England could do it. Why can't we?
Yeah. Yeah, we usually offer it up. Yeah. So. But yeah. Anyway, I mean, it's a disappointing season for everybody sitting at this table. I mean, the person here that likes the outcome of this season. I mean, it's just been horrible. And I mean, it's tough for me to even get pissed off anymore, because it's like it's the same old. That's just more depressing now than it is frustrating. It's just because it's like you just have nothing to look forward to. Like, here we go, another week of losing. How are we gonna piss this off about? I mean, it's like
I even found things to get pissed off about today's game.
Yeah. No, I mean, I get pissed off myself, but it's just like I'm to the point where I'm past pissed off. I mean, it's like
You're just
I've been
numb.
living in misery.
You're just
I'm like,
numb.
yeah, and I mean, there's just like no end in sight. It's like you're a glutton for punishment. To be a fan of this team or our teams in this case. But anyway, yeah, I wasn't surprised by what I saw today. It's just continuation of what we've been seeing.
Yeah, it's just been a tough year for every team here. I'm pretty sure the only coach that we know is safe here at this table is Doug Peterson for the Eagles.
Fangio too.
Wait, really?
Yeah, our side of the table, we don't have that many questions. We got the head coach.
You guys got the people that can carry
after today's game, I'm feeling much better.
Yeah, but
that goes for me too.
It's just
I'm feeling much better. Yeah.
It's just it was just a tough game for the Broncos, but like they said, I mean, they really didn't have any reason to win the game. Getting a higher draft pick is always a good thing when you don't when you're out of the playoff contention anyways. There's no reason to go out there and win games unless you want to have sometimes it can be beneficial, but not all the time. Sometimes you like to end the season with a win streak just so that you can have some confidence going into next season. But in this case, I mean, the Broncos are just purely injured pretty much. So ultimately, those guys aren't going to be the ones that you're going to be seeing on the field next year anyways. At least most of them. So, it doesn't really do them any good. So, but yeah, just another typical Broncos game.
Yep. Yeah. So I only watched the first half of this game, but I did watch the first half because they actually played the Raiders, so they were shown on a channel that we actually get. And because of what I was doing, I was like, well, I don't really care to watch Red Zone. And so I watched the Broncos game, and I was in for a treat. But, I'll be completely honest, though. In the first half, though, first quarter, I wasn't for a treat. They actually came out, and they looked pretty good. I was like, wow, okay. Looks like they definitely showed up to play, and they are going to be out here competing. They came, of course they couldn't score a touchdown on the first drive, but I think that's only happened about 16 times this season. So nothing. So, I mean, it's kind of a new thing, but it is what it is. But anyway, they scored 3 and, it was a really tight game, but then, they got up, I think it was 10 to, or maybe it was 14 to something. Anyway, they were up by 7 points, I believe, and they had the they were up by 7, and they had the opportunity to go up by 10. Send McManus out there, and he does what he does best, misses the field goal, and sets up the Raiders on the 40-yard line, their own 40, but still 40-yard line pretty much. And I was like, okay, here we go. This is what I'm used to seeing. And then what ends up happening is the Raiders come down and score immediately on that drive. And I'm like, yep, there goes the game. I mean, I was legit having flashbacks to Eagles performances. That's exactly what happens in Eagles games a lot of weeks. But I didn't watch really any of the second half. So, I'm sure that he's looking forward to filling you in on all that stuff. But, I mean, overall, like Passley alluded to, for the most part, I mean, they scored quite a bit of points today. So it's not, I wouldn't necessarily say it's the usual Broncos game because for the most part, I mean, the offense kept them in it and the defense maybe could have played a little bit better today. But, I mean, at the same time, it's like, what, you're really going to harp on the defense when they've been holding opponents under 24 points for a good portion of the season, and now now they struggle a game or something, and now you're going to get pissed off at them when the offense has done diddly squat for, 9/10 of the weeks. Come on, give it a break. And it's like, wow, okay. And then, again, the news came out that Fangio is going to be certified into next season. So I guess they don't have to worry about that. But if I was a Broncos fan, I'd be more worried than I would be if they were looking for a new coach. Because
Shermer too. So the OC's coming back as well.
Oh, great.
So you've seen how much that potent offense has happened.
And the other problem is that when you have people like that and they, maybe Drew Lock is their guy because they're the ones that, kind of called in and said, hey, let's draft this guy. We want him. So in some respects, sometimes you have a situation where it's like, well, we got to ride with him because we're the ones that took him. And so you could have a situation where, you got another season a lot to look forward to as well. And it's like, boy, it's just shaping up to be a big mess. Continue to be a big mess because it's already been. And I think, before too long, you're going to see, look forward to the next episode of the quarterback carousel with a new guy at the helm. And, if they don't decide to get a Stafford or, who knows what Aaron Rodgers is going to do, but I doubt that he'll be going there simply because, forget what the defense looks like and other pieces. Look at the ownership who can't figure anything out and can't even figure out who's actually in charge. So, Russell Westbrook in basketball went to Houston to play with James Harden, and he left not because of the talent on the team, but because of the ownership group. And you could easily see that same thing happen here in Denver because they just don't know what the hell they're doing. So, frankly, I wouldn't be surprised if it's a situation where you either draft a quarterback in an early round. I could see them doing that, which I think would be a terrible mistake, but I could see them doing it just because. And then I could also see a situation where they bring in somebody like Cam Newton or something to come in there and be a backup and have him take over halfway through the season or something, because I think it's just going to be more from Drew Lock, and I don't think that it's going to get better, and they might say, oh, we need to save our jobs. So then they make a signing like that, which I think would be a huge mistake as well. So I think basically what I'm trying to say is, any way you look at it, you're screwed. So, it is what it is, but I just think that's a hard fact. Unfortunately, it kind of sucks because you got some guys that I think have a lot of promise. And I think if they can keep some of these young players and some of these people that I feel really showed out as a result of the injuries. I think, obviously nobody likes to have a season like this where you're super injured, but at the end of the day, I feel like as a result of those injuries, you really kind of found some hidden gems on the team that otherwise maybe wouldn't have even seen the field. So, from that standpoint, I think it wasn't the worst thing. If you're going to have all these injuries, and likely, I don't think they were doing anything anyways with the inconsistency on offense. So, with that being said, sometimes having all these injuries, and especially without the preseason, they had plenty of opportunity through the season to assess the talent on the team. So, I think that's kind of a good thing moving forward. But like I said, I think it's not going to make much difference until some things really get ironed out. And unfortunately, under this coaching regime, I don't think it's going to. So it's going to be tough. And then the other thing they're up against too is if Fangio survives another year and then gets fired, who knows what the new coach is going to want to do. So it could be basically the same thing as what we're talking about with the Lions, where who knows what the quarterback's going to look like or the personnel, because the new coach might come in there and say, obviously that didn't work. Let's just blow it up. And then you're, looking at, okay, more receivers, more running backs, more this, when you have talent on the team already, but it's not their guys. So any way you slice it, it's going to be a freaking clown show over there. And, with that being said, welcome to Tuned In Sports. Because that's what this channel is, and it's what it's turned into. So, anyway, with that being said, have at it, buddy.
Woo! All right, let's go. We get a offensive performance, actually, and we actually score more than 24 points. Holy crap. And we still lose. The defense plays well again. A +4 in turnover ratio. 4 turnovers for the Raiders, 0 for the Broncos.
Wow.
And we still blow this game.
Oh, wow.
McManus, what are you doing, dude? You were the ones that say I'm the greatest guy, and I know you have a huge leg and you've been a solid kicker, but lately, what's up? You are missing things. He had 2 blocks today.
Yep.
One before the half, and then another one at the end of the game. Again, I know there's 60-yarders or 55 plus, but again, with altitude, you're still only kicking 40 or 50-yarders. You should be able to still nail those, or at least get them up in the air.
Yeah.
And again, offensive line should be able to knock out the legs of the
People trying to block it.
If you're trying to block it, get them on the ground somehow. But that was horrible. But as usual, had opportunities, failed opportunities, even with turnovers. Again, not catching in touchdowns, getting field goals out of it. Even on the 2-point there's a 2-point conversion. Judy almost dropped. I'm like, oh, here we go again. And as typical Broncos fashion, Patrick was playing well. He gets hurt and goes out for the game in the first half. So there goes another receiver out of the equation. I think another person had a foot injury. There was again, as usual, it was a typical Broncos game. Injuries and missed opportunities. But the worst part of it was at the end of the game. We got down somewhere where the Raiders had the ball with no timeouts left. Systematically bore right down the field. They throw a pass and they get down to the 2-yard line, 1 or 2-yard line. They have no timeouts with 20 seconds some odd to go. Who calls a timeout? Fangio. Why?
Nice.
Why? Oh, we need to set up the defense, right? Oh, well, you give time for the offense to set up too. Doesn't matter. So they score, right? So again, what happens? Oh, Raiders are going to go for 2 to win the game. So what do they decide to do? Oh shit, they're in trouble. They're pulling people in and out. They don't know if they're going to go to field goal or out. So the time clock is running down. So what happens? Fangio calls a timeout. Why?
Yep.
We're seeing they're going to back them up for the extra point, 5 yards, or they're going to do a 2-point conversion from the 7 instead of the 2. No, I'm calling a timeout. Are you helping the other team to win? I'm sitting here just going like this, going, what are you doing? But again, this isn't the first time that Fangio has piss poor time clock management. I've seen it in several games. Yep. But again, that's the thing that infuriates you. Again, that's typical. We want you to lose. We want a higher draft choice. Maybe John doesn't want to pay a higher draft choice, but the fans want a higher draft choice so we get a better player. So we'll see what happens. But again, to pull you in to go, hey, we're going to play our rival, the Raiders. Hey, we're going to beat them. We have a chance to beat them. We're going to let you, get excited about that at least. Man, we actually have a really, really good game today. And you still just tear everybody's hearts out by doing stupid shit again with it. And it just is so freaking frustrating. But again, it was the typical season ender. It's just the way the whole season has gone. It's been complete dumpster fire between play and players and injuries and COVID and no bye weeks. It was just the typical capper to the season. So as these guys have gone with their preview for next year or wish list next year, is we better get Dan Stafford. There is no doubt about it. I think he has 2 years left on his contract. Perfect. Sit lock underneath him, a.k.a. Osweiler, right? Let him learn for 2 years. Pick up his 5th year as the option. Then he can be the starter, right? And you can determine if you want to pay him again or not. If he fails, then you dump him. But you know what? You have a proven quarterback right there, a.k.a. just like our blueprint. Older veteran quarterback at the twilight of his career can get it done. Because we have the defense, the ball out. We can take anybody at any moment, anywhere, and play nose-to-nose with them. Even Kansas City, I know everybody doesn't like to say it, but if we're healthy, if we're at full force, we can take care of it. We can play with them. It's just the offensive side needs to do it. And the reason I say this is because guess what? Stafford can be able to put us in plays or get us out of plays that our schmuck offensive coordinator calls, that we can get him out of these situations. While Locke's sitting here going, that's the play that's called, and then I don't know what to do, and if I do change it, I'm going to lock on the guy that I need to throw it to. So with Stafford, who's had many opportunities to play on, bad teams, he knows what to do to get the hell out of the bad call, because he knows what he's got. Shit, half the guys on the team are Lions. So he has Glasgow, and he has them. So it's not like he doesn't know these guys.
Yeah.
So this is a huge opportunity for the damn Broncos to do it because it's into Vaughn's line. He's got, I think, 2 years. Again, another guy right at the same time. He's a free agent a year, maybe next year or year after. Guess what? I don't see him hanging around that longer for the team because that's going to be a lot of money to soak into an older guy who obviously has become self-injured the last few years. So, I mean, which just sucks. You don't like to see your cornerstone and, prime players leave. But, again, this is the NFL. It's a business. It's going to happen. He's going to be at that age, and it's going to be a question mark if you want to sock that much money into an older player. And I don't think you can, especially with today's
Pricing.
cap issues. It's just really tough to keep them. They've got huge question marks. They're going to have to decide what they want to do with Lindsey. They're going to have to decide especially what they want to do with Justin Simmons. Elway dropped the ball on signing this kid, at safety position. Now he's going to be a free agent pretty much. So they better come back with an offer. But again, that's going to cost them more money to sign him back. So there's going to be some changes that are going to occur on it. But you know what? If I'm worried about my safety compared to my quarterback position, we need to solve the damn quarterback positions. Because no matter what happens, your team is sunk. You can ask everyone on this panel. If you don't have a QB that's at least somewhat decent, you're toast. I mean, they've seen it years. I mean, Detroit hasn't had it recently, but for the years before, guess what? Average quarterback play, toilet. Bengals. Not since Burrow have they actually had an opportunity. Since even Dalton, when he was younger, you saw what happened when he was actually able to play and be serviceable. But when he's got older, it wasn't that good, right? They had Esiason. They had Kenny Anderson. You know what I mean? They have people that you have to have a quarterback.
Yep.
Eagles, same thing. Randall Cunningham. Even Jaworski was even, more serviceable. That's what you needed. But ever since that, it's been what? Trash, right? It's just
Pretty much, yeah.
I mean, you had the Wentz.
McNabb was okay.
You know what I mean? But guess what? That was it, right? They had it. But when they weren't there, guess what happened? In the garbage. So you need a QB in the position. Even if he's just serviceable, he needs it. But I know Stafford's just not serviceable. Because if he can make those teams in Detroit move the damn ball and get them down the field, he's a damn good quarterback. And you know what? Guess what? He can take shots. He can play injured. Our guys are like folded shirts. They get hit once. Oh, no! You know what I mean? It's just like, what the hell?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We just need some toughness in the position again. And what would hurt Locke learning by a damn professional quarterback? None.
No.
You know what I mean? I know John has a plethora of knowledge, but usually I see him up in the booth sitting sunflower speeds or drinking booze, as the GM up on the camera shot. Maybe I don't think John has the heart like he used to do, with it. But again, same thing. Guess who? Just like I told last week with Judy, which again, thank you for the 92-yard football catch. That actually looked like you were an actual wide receiver this week. For at least it took you to that second half to do it. The first half you didn't look you were there, but at least you made a play.
Yeah.
That actually looked like Demaryius Thomas, right? You didn't drop it and you ran it. It gave me flashbacks of Tebow and Demaryius Thomas versus the Steelers in the playoffs. It was like, wow, this actually gets me excited about Judy. But before this, it was again the same thing, sleep. But same thing, like I said, go see Jerry's son, go to talk to Jerry, same thing. Guess who's around town? Peyton's around that town. He's around that organization all the time because he's talking with John. So guess what? Soak in, be a sponge. Sit around in those meetings with Stafford if we get him, and Manning, and Elway, and just go, okay,
Yeah.
this is what I need to do.
Yeah.
there's a fountain of knowledge sitting right there. A treasure trove of Super Bowls and really high performance quarterbacking.
Yeah.
So if you don't know how to do this, you don't need to be here. If you can't absorb it, if you're going to be a Jamarcus Russell for the Raiders, or that Billy Joe Tolbert that forgot the Bills playbook on the bus or whatever, hey, what'd you do with the playbook? I don't know what it is. Well, I left it somewhere. Well, if you can't do this, time for you to go. You don't need to be here. We need to just put another horse on the carousel and just spin it around again. But I think this is a huge moment for the Broncos, and I think they need to solve it with Stafford. Because, again, we need another offensive mind on the field besides on the sidelines and up in the booth. Because, again, he knows how to read defenses, and he knows how to get you in and out of bad plays or put you in a good place to take advantage of what he's seeing. And that's a big thing, I think, with Locke is that he's a rookie. He's just like, you're not going to expect most of this stuff to come in, and he's not going to do it. But for us to be successful in the next few years, we have to get quarterback play and solid quarterback play. And like I said, the guy fits the mold. He fits what we use and what we need for us to be successful. And again, and Locke can groom under it. And then again, just like Osweiler, if he doesn't take the money and run, which that was a blessing for us. But you can learn from it, right? And go, I know what to do, and I can be a quarterback.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens. Again, it's only 3 days into 2021, so I'm not get too excited. We'll find a way to screw it up.
Yeah. Exactly. All right. Well,
speaking of screwing up,
yeah, let's move into this final game here, talking about the Eagles. Before they give their piece, I just want to say I only watched 3/4 of this game. Couldn't stomach the fourth, so they'll have to fill you in on that part. But from what I understand and from the commentary I heard from them during the game, it was beautiful stuff. So So who wants to go first? Who wants the first bite of this beautiful pie?
I guess I'll start off. I kind of thought, benching Hurts really didn't do them a lot of good. I looked at that and thought, what the hell? I mean, and then Sudfeld came in and didn't do much better.
No.
So it's like, you might as well let the young guy get the experience and learn from it, So, I mean, that didn't really make all that much sense to me. It didn't seem like either offense really was doing much of anything. I think both teams scored under 20 points this game, if I remember right. So it was like, well,
14.
Good for Washington getting into the playoffs. This was a must-win for that team, and they got it done, so good for them. But, the Eagles' QB situation is going to be interesting. With Carson Wentz probably going to be leaving.
He is leaving.
But, it's just going to be interesting to see if, are they going to be sticking with Hurts, or do you think they're going to draft another quarterback in the first round? Or, I mean, it was just a tough game, and it was just another one of those situations, like we've said about almost all of our teams, that did them no good to win. So, that's what ended up happening.
Yeah, for me with this game, it was just the typical Peterson game. I mean, it was a chance that, you could actually do something correctly. And it actually was starting very well for the first half. They were doing what they needed to do. Again, just like I said before, you've got a young quarterback. You're going to have things happen that you're going to mess up on. And that's just part of the game. And that's what's going to happen when they're rookies. And I mean, like you said, same thing with Locke, right? You're just going to expect those things. Those things are going to happen. But, he didn't play bad enough to get yanked after the third quarter. I have no idea what this is. I mean, this could be, one of those, Andy Reid-esque type of things where like, well, I know my fan base hates the Cowboys and the Giants, so I'm going to show them and let the Reds, the team win, so then he can get in good graces of the other team. But, Wentz is over there, and I'm sure Hurts is over there, dropping poison in the whole locker room. Because guess what? Wentz is going to go, see, look what happens to you. It's the same thing that's happened to me. And then Hurts is going over there and like, what the hell? Let me try to win this game. I want to play. And what's the most beneficial thing that Peterson can do for his team? Get some more continuity, because obviously it looks like it's going to be Hurts on forward. Mm-hmm. So why do you want to piss off Hurts? And he needs the time. And again, I told this to Steve during the game. What's the best thing for you? Gameplay. Mm-hmm. That's the only thing that's going to get you more experience. You see more things, more reaction, more situations. Just learning, again, it's like Locke, learning how to be quarterback.
Yep.
The only way to do it is on the field. You can throw, again, just like I said before, with a lot of things. Practice, you look good. Practice, you look, practice. Practice is not the real game. And you know what? People react differently between practice and real game situations. You know who plays in game situations. Again, I know everybody laughs about Phillip Rivers, but guess what? That goddamn guy is a gamer. You put him in situations, he'll find a way to win it for you. Or if not, get you real damn close. When other people will just fold in the cards, he's going to go, I'm going to get you there. Jump on. Mm-hmm. And the only way to do it is get it in game situations. But this is, again, this is what he's done ever since the Super Bowl. It's just, he thinks he's the Grand Poobah or wizard, and he's not. I mean, we're seeing, hey, Frank Wright made it in the playoffs. Yeah. Guess what? With Phillip Rivers. Hey! What a shocker. You know what I mean? Again, it's just, I don't know. It's a funny game, but this guy is, I don't know. He's
something special.
Mr. Wizard. Mr. Wizard. I have no idea what the hell he's going to do, but you know what? He's going to have a hell of an offseason because he's got a pissed off quarterback he's got to deal with and get dumped. But again, I know the front office will have to deal with that. But again, whatever's going to happen, it's just going to be a rough season. Trying to figure out what the hell is going to work, what's not. I mean, he has pieces, but again, just like I said before with a couple weeks ago, he put a rift in the locker room when he went to the quarterback controversy. Yep. There's a rift. So now what does he do on week 17? I'm going to put Sudfeld in. I'm going to put another riff into it. So I have a complete quarterback cluster in my locker room. Yeah. Nobody knows who's going to play. Nobody trusts anybody. Who's everybody else going to follow? They need to follow a leader. Hurts was the guy because he's the quarterback, right? That's your leader. Everybody's going to follow him. But now guess what he's going to do? He's going to sit there and talk bad about everybody and everything about this because he's like, why the hell did you pull me out? Yeah. He might not say it in the press. Yeah. He'll say it, though, behind closed doors and text messaging and whatever you're going to need to do with it. He's going to say, what the hell just happened there? Yep. And then, like I said, you can't tell me Wentz is not going to be dropping poison in the Hurts' ear. No, going, hey, it's your turn next, buddy.
Yeah, this is just the start.
Yeah, so we'll see what happens. But anyway, that's just my little take on it. Again, just missteps by the Eagles. And, hey, congratulations to the football team. Yeah. Good luck in getting smeared by Tom Brady next week.
Yeah.
I would agree with that. This is another perfect example of, a situation where some people are just, this Peterson guy likes to stick his foot in his mouth more than any coach I've ever heard. Even more so than Matt Patricia.
That's tough to do.
Yeah, this guy tends to stick his foot in his mouth more so than anybody I've ever seen in a coach. Today, after this win, or after this loss, he says he was coaching to win when he pulled Hurts out of the game.
Are you serious?
This is what it says right here on the phone. He said he was coaching to win.
Yeah.
So,
if that's winning, I don't want to know what losing looks like.
For weeks we've been sitting here every week. Bryson comes up with something that was said after the game or during the game about how this coach is clueless. And this one just about tops them all.
No, it does. It does. Yeah, that's the winner. That takes the cake.
Yeah.
I don't understand what kind of mindset this guy has to where he thought going to Sudfeld was the right move. Especially like Don said, I mean, you get better by playing in these situations. And if he's the guy moving forward, then he needs to be in the game.
Well, especially that kills you too, because that's what we talked about when it was fourth down on the football teams inside the 5. Kick the 3 points, tie the game.
Yeah, and
why go for it?
And he was yanked after that.
Yeah.
You know,
and that's just now that's even like I said, that even puts a bigger fucking drop of poison in the locker room.
Yep. For him to come out and say I was coaching to win, I mean that is just so asinine. It's not funny.
You play to win the game.
I mean, when I saw that, I was like, oh, I shouldn't even put this out there. I should just let Bryson see it, and then he can talk about it.
I wouldn't have seen it.
That's bad.
I wouldn't have seen it. I had no idea he said that.
Yeah.
I was under the impression that because it was the end of the season and the game didn't mean anything, that he was just trying to get the guy some snaps just to see what he had or whatever, because there was no preseason. That was what I was under the impression of. I had no idea that it was him coaching to win.
Yeah.
Well, again, if this Sudfeld guy was the answer to everything, you think he'd be the number 2 quarterback behind Wentz when this was all going down?
Yeah.
Why was it Hurts?
Yeah.
Yeah, why has he been on the
So
team
why
for
even
years?
put Sudfeld even in there? Why?
Yeah.
No, I totally agree. This was a total game mismanagement, horrible coaching decisions, offensively, horrible play calling. Everything was just ridiculous. And furthermore, today to see that Jim Schwartz was throwing in the hat on his side of things. Apparently, the relationship between him and the coach has gotten so bad to where he can't coach there anymore. Probably was getting fired anyway, because he seems to be the scapegoat every time something goes wrong there. So that was just one of those things where, this Doug Peterson guy, I don't know what his plans are. But man,
I got a couple ideas for him.
I think the unemployment line might be where he's going to end up.
No, he's set for next season. They already said.
Yeah, but that can change.
It better.
I could see a scenario like Patricia where, halfway through the season, see you later. They don't get it fixed. But with that being said, I couldn't believe the statement that he came out with tonight. I've heard a lot of stupid things. Being a Lions fan, that's all you usually hear. So
yeah, you've heard a lot. That is a lot of stupid things over the years.
Yes, I've heard it all. I've heard everything.
This might rank up there for all of our damn teams.
Yeah.
This might be
Wayne Fonts.
Yeah, this was shocking to me that he would have come up with this one, because there's no reason to be saying this. I don't know what he's thinking. And what's even worse is there was rumors that Detroit was interested in talking to him. So God, I hope that doesn't happen. Please hire somebody else. I don't care who it is.
They were looking at Peterson.
I'll take the ex-Bengals coach before I take that son of a bitch.
Yeah, exactly.
They were looking at Peterson.
No, there was talk about it that Detroit was interested in him.
Oh my God!
At least talking to him.
Oh my God!
And that would be a typical Detroit move to bring him in. Yeah, let's bring him in.
Yeah, and then they'll defend it by saying, "Yeah, he has Super Bowl experience."
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but tonight's game was just, it was horrible. I secretly was happy for Alex Smith. I wanted to see him cap off a beautiful story. Coming
and
back
the coach, for that matter.
Right, and they have the coach go through cancer and come out of it on the other side. It's a wonderful story. It's going to end next week, but it's a wonderful story, and I was actually happy to see it. I feel bad for Bryson being an Eagles fan and all that, and he's my son, but I wasn't displeased to see that the Redskins won the game tonight. Just because of that, just because of the storyline, and Alex Smith has always seemed to be the guy that does the right thing. Never in the papers for the wrong reasons, and been a stand-up player.
Yeah.
Obviously, not afraid to play hurt, this and that and the other. So, and he's always been the guy that's kind of got the short end of the stick everywhere he goes. He's been one of the better quarterbacks and has never really gotten the recognition for it. So. Nice to see him be able to kind of resurrect his career a little bit. I mean, I don't know for how much longer it's going to last. I could see a scenario where Redskins or Washington in this case is looking to draft another quarterback or whatever. I'm sure that's the plan. But nice to see him have some success this year. And with that, I'll go ahead and leave the stage for Bryson.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
We're probably going to all leave the stage because he's going to be here a while, and I got to work in the morning. So,
yeah. Well, I'll start by saying this.
Please watch for flying objects.
Yeah, I was going to say that's a good one. That's a good one to start it. Listen, I mean, it's so hard to root for this team right now, and it's just so frustrating. As he mentioned, yesterday news broke that, first of all, Jim Schwartz was looking to possibly retire at the end, after this season, but whether he retires or not, he's leaving the team. And, I mean, looking at the post today, all I saw were likes and hearts. So that tells you what the fans think of him. And that tells you what I think of the fans. You're a bunch of morons. Because let me tell you, the stats, okay? Now, this season has been putrid. I think we're the 31st, which I read something about maybe being the 31st worst defense in the league or something, which is honestly shocking to me because, I mean, we've played better than that, I think. I mean, if that's right, then okay, I guess people have a right to be upset this season. But look at the injuries. We talked about the guy from AutoZone coming over. Come on now. I mean, give me a damn break. So, that just capped it off. But other than that, in his seasons in Philadelphia, the defense has been ranked 5th, 10th, 5th, and 6th in the league. Yeah, he doesn't know what he's doing on defense. Yeah, he's clueless. Yeah, no, you're clueless. Really what it comes down to is this season, the reason they struggled is injuries and because the offense was anemic all year long. They were horrible. So the defense was put in horrible positions, and it just, so that just started it. Then to hear that, not only that, but now we got Doug Peterson who's going to be coming back next season. And if you've watched this show before, you already know coming into this game what I thought of Doug Peterson. That guy needs to go. I'm tired of his show. So we're losing the guy that I liked, and we're keeping the guy that I think is not right for this team, to say the least. I'm going to hold the real thoughts for a little bit here because I'm going to say coming into this game, I thought he was not the right guy. That was all before tonight started. First of all, way to have the guys ready. Once again, okay, let me, you know what? We're going to have a little bit of a different segment here tonight. I'm going to start this segment by asking some questions. Okay, first, question number 1. What generally happens when you don't score and you get down by double digits before you put any points in the board? Do you have a great chance to win? Anybody? Usually lose. Okay, well, we managed to do that again tonight. How many times have I said that this season? That's question number 2. Just about every
I've
single.
seen it with my team.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, and we have the records that show exactly what happens. So, just in case you fans that still want to blame Schwartz have any questions, I'm asking them for you. And then, it's just so freaking putrid. And what happened to our weapons? Do we have any weapons on this team?
You didn't bring any weapons.
Do you have any weapons?
You ain't changing anything.
Yeah, well, we are in Philly, Do we have any weapons? Are they getting targeted? Nope, they're not doing that.
Whiteside had 2 catches.
Oh, thank God. And 3 targets. He made us 3 targets tonight. And
overachieved.
He had probably his best game. He must have read all the comments on it.
He stepped up. He went above and beyond his normal 1.
You know what? He just
3 times better.
He just grew another year older, so he must have grew on the football field too. So, hey, good for you, buddy. But you know, it's just so horrible. Now, the rest of this time, I'm going to spend giving you the real. I'm going to give you guys the real thing here. Not that the rest of it hasn't been, but first of all, okay, you talk about putrid stuff. We get down by 10-0, or 14, whatever the hell it was, and by the time halftime came, it was a close game. As a matter of fact, we were up 14-10. We were up, and we're like, boy, okay. You can say what you want about, oh, well, does it help them to win this game or anything like that? Or, oh, well, you hate the Giants, so, send them off. But like I said before, first of all, I cannot stand any team in there. So I don't give a crap who goes to the playoffs. The fact that we're not going is enough to send me over the edge, because the rest of the teams can go ahead and sink as far as I'm concerned. So that's the first thing. Second of all, man, I'm getting so scrambled right now because I can't even put into words how pissed off I am over this. It's just, you can say what you want about it not helping us, but I want to beat a division opponent. I don't want to lose. And I also want, with Hurts supposed to be the guy now, because guess what? You freaking sunk this ship when you benched Wentz. I don't care. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, I hope for the best. But as far as I'm concerned, what I could totally see happening with this is Hurts ends up not being the guy. And so you sunk any and all chance that we had by benching Wentz weeks ago. Just like Don said, you started this train wreck of a crap show that's going on right now when you made that move, because the problems were bigger than just him, but you made it seem like he's the reason that we're losing by benching him. First of all, we shouldn't even have Jalen Hurts on this team, because the fact that we drafted a quarterback in the second round was absolutely disgusting to me. I cannot believe that. But what I am sick and tired of watching is I'm tired of watching, DK Metcalf play well and ball out and go to Pro Bowls in Seattle and Justin Jefferson, who we also passed on, go ball out elsewhere. And we got guys like Jalen Reagor, who in his first season has proven to be Deshaun Jackson, essentially. It's great when he's on the field, but he's always hurt. So guess what? All we have is another guy spending time on the damn injured reserve list. And that's if he doesn't catch COVID along with it. So I'm tired of that. And that's the other thing that I'll say is, yeah, it improves draft position, but we suck at drafting. We haven't done it right in years. So I don't want better draft position. If the only reason I would want better draft position is so we can trade that pick away to get somebody. Because we have Howie Roseman, you have no IQ. You have no IQ. I'm just, instead of saying no clue or no idea, I'll combine them. You have no IQ. You're ridiculous. So I don't care about the damn draft position. But that, and then to top it off, before the game even started, we have this thing coming out about Carson Wentz and Doug Peterson's relationship is fractured, which, listen, I'm a fan of Wentz. I like him as a person. Liking him as a person doesn't win football games. But here's the issue that I have with the statements that or the rumor that's come out. Why are you getting pissed off at him? When every single week we have to listen to the press conference where you say, oh, I need to play better. You've gone and admitted it. Weekly, we have to listen to you say, yeah, I need to do a better job. I need to improve. I'm not playing to the standard that's met. Are you seriously going to sit here and tell me that you earned your paycheck? No, you did not. And I'm a fan of yours, but no, you did not. You're one of the higher paid players in this league, and you played like crap for the majority of the year. You held on to the ball too long, all kinds of different stuff. So don't sit here and act like Doug Peterson ruined this relationship. No, you playing like absolute crap ruined your situation. It wasn't Doug Peterson. It was you. So stop doing that stuff, talking about this and that and the other thing, when you're the one that was out there making the mistakes. Yes, the coach didn't help. Yes, you didn't have a lot to work with. Yes, the offensive line sucked. But still, at the end of the day, elite players make elite plays and make up for deficiencies. And this year, you did not do that. So the fact that you would come out here and take the stance of, the coach is, I can't get along with this coach anymore, when all year you were saying you need to get better. So at the end of the day, who can blame him for benching him? I mean, I'm sorry, you were playing so bad, you deserve to sit and have a reality check. You deserve that. So to sit there and be an all crybaby and all, how did you do that to me? I don't want to play here anymore. Blah, blah, blah. When you're the one playing like crap, that's the biggest load of bull I have ever heard. While we're talking about bull, let's go ahead and move on to where I stopped watching this game. Because here's the thing. Okay, first of all, the fact of the matter is, if he benched him because of having the best chance to win, well, here's the thing. If it was what sent him over the edge on making that decision was that fourth down play that Don talked about, here's something that I want you to possibly consider, okay? If we would have made that, it would have been a tie game, 17-17, and your defense played very well the whole game, pretty much. Let's not act like Washington was going up and down the field here. We were doing a good job on defense. Sure, we gave up some plays, but they gave up some plays as well. So it was a very, very close game. So here is what I want you to consider. He should not have been on the field in the first place. He shouldn't have been on the field on fourth and whatever the hell that was. He shouldn't have been out there. So if you're judging his performance on that play, well, go ahead and look in the mirror, because he shouldn't have been out there. He should not have been out there on that play. That was a stupid decision on your part. But once again, instead of you taking any responsibility, we're going to go ahead and blame the defense or blame somebody else or say, Jalen Hurts is the reason why we're not winning. Oh, this sounds familiar. We heard it 3 weeks ago. So that's just absolutely pathetic. That's absolutely sickening, pathetic, you name it. I'm tired of that. And then to top off the night, because of that play, then he yanks Hurts. I stopped watching. I literally turned on Storage Wars and watched it the whole fourth quarter, because I could not even, and this was before I heard, out of the mouths of babes in the post conference. That was even before that. I could not even stomach the fact of what happened there, because I don't know what he saw that suggested Hurts could not have possibly won that game. But he needs to get his eyes checked, his ears checked, his health checked, everything at it. Forget the COVID test. Check and see if this guy is even okay mentally. Because, good God. But I could not even watch the fourth quarter because I was so just put off by the fact that he did that. And you know what? I was going to keep this segment short, and I was going to be like, okay, there's no preseason, so maybe we're putting him in here. But here's the problem with that, is Sudfeld has been on the damn team for like 3 years. So guess what? Everybody's talking about, this is a promising young player. Well, let me tell you something. Jalen Hurts was drafted in the second round, came in, and was the backup, and moved Sudfeld to the third string. So if he was that great, and look at him, he can make all the throws, why was he immediately pushed back a slot? And last year, and the years before that, he sat behind Foles too. And we see what Foles is doing. Don't get me wrong, I'm also a Foles fan. But, how can I not be? Hello? But I'm just saying, look what he's doing since he left Philly. Both times. Not just this time. The first time too. He went to Rams or Cardinals. diddly crap. I mean, it was just really bad. And so if this Sudfeld guy was the answer, we would have seen it by now. That's all I'm saying. If he had all the tools and all the goods, why is he constantly being... I get there was no preseason this year, but you've had years of tape on him now. Years. I mean, he's been on the team at least 2. I know that. At least 2. But I'm pretty sure he was on the team when we went to the Super Bowl. I mean, I think, I could be wrong, but I know at least 2 years. So if he wasn't the guy then, what are we doing here? And the rift that is now going to be created in the locker room, like he said, as a result of that alone. That alone is like, okay, what is really going on here? This doesn't make sense. But if he were to come out and to say, listen, we know what we have with Hurts. We know that he is our guy potentially moving forward, and we think at least going into next season for sure, he's our guy. And we want to see if we can put some pieces around him or whatever. We think he could be better. And the end of the season, the way they finished, where they competed in pretty much every game except for the Cowboys game, but they competed throughout the year, and what he showed you, I mean, hell, look at the one game, I can't remember, I think it was maybe Green Bay, where we were down by a ton. He came in and brought us back in and almost won the game for us. So look at that. And then the times he started, he beat the Saints, which I didn't think we had a hope in hell in winning. He won that. We had a very good game against the Cardinals, which we could have won. You know, the Dallas game, we lost that, but a lot of these games, a lot of it has to do with play calling. That's what it is. It's not the quarterback. It's not the running back. It's the play calling. It's the use of the talent on this team and everything else. But even with all that being said, we still could have, if he would have just came out and said those things, we could have recovered from this. We could have. It would have been a head scratcher for sure, but if he just came out and said, listen, Jalen is our guy, and we just wanted to assess other talent because the preseason was canceled and this game didn't mean anything anyways, it would have been a hard pill to swallow, but I would have said, okay, I don't like it, I don't agree with it, but okay. But to come out here and seriously say the words, I was doing it to try to win, that is unflippin' believable that he would even utter a word like that when we've seen what Sudfeld has and Jalen Hurts has come in here because we felt he gave us a better chance to win than Wentz. That's why he's in there. And like they said, what can be the most beneficial right now is allowing him to see the field and be put in these crucial situations because this season might be over, but next season doesn't have to be. And the next season after that doesn't have to be. I mean, what may look like trash right now could turn out to be good in the future with these experiences. Because, yeah, this season doesn't mean anything, but if he would have had a comeback victory or whatever, or even lost in a close one where the opposing defense played well and he just had to make plays on his own and stuff, that's all great experience. He's in the fourth quarter in a close game against a division rival. Do not tell me that would not have paid off down the road, him having the experience of tonight's game. And to come out here and to say all of this, to say that they put Sudfeld in there to try to win, that is the epitome of Doug Peterson just being a complete and utter moron. That is the absolute worst thing that he could have done, the worst thing that he could have said, and as if this organization was not in shambles before, now we are absolute toast. I mean, we are going to be the new Cleveland Browns, and we might be worse. I mean, we could easily turn into that. And the worst thing of it all, and I mean, I've already went probably too long, but I can't even express how upset I am at this. the worst part of this entire thing is it's bad enough that this season sucked from beginning to middle to end. We couldn't score more than 17 points throughout the season. We got the defense being blamed for the problems when the offense has been so bad all season long. The defensive coordinator is now leaving for whatever reason. He's leaving, and we had injuries. We had COVID, but even with that being said, we came and played in so many of these games, and through stupid errors on play calling, game management, not making adjustments at halftime, and all of these different things, this guy, Doug Peterson, has cost us again and again and again and again. All of these things. Again, it's not solely him, but for the most part, if we had better clock management, if we had better game management, if we had better game planning, if people actually, you're going to be amazed when I say this, watch the tape. Watch the tape. If people actually did that, we could have had a much better season. But we didn't. And a lot of it is because of this guy right here who not only is he making stupid plays, another one with the analytics tonight, making stupid decisions there, and even the broadcast team was like, oh yeah, they've been really bad on fourth down when they've gone for it this season. So how are we still looking at analytics saying this is right? How? Even the announcers are saying that we've sucked at it. So how is this still the right course of action? But even with all that being said, he has frickin' whipped it out and bent us over time and time and time and time and time again. Then they go out there and they say he's coming back for next season. On top of that, we don't have an offensive coordinator, so he's making the play calls. He's doing all this stupid stuff, talking about, oh, well, maybe we should get to the run when he's the one calling the plays and deciding what we're doing. And he has just stuck it to us time and time and time again. And to make everything worse, even with that being said, it would have been hard enough as it is. But then to come out here and to make a statement like he just made, which, like I said, that may have been the statement of all statements. I don't care about the ones we've talked about on this channel or ones that have gone all the way past in the Eagles' history to other teams to anything. That may have been the most ridiculous statement that I have ever heard. To do that is, number one, the reason I took off my jersey and my hat. Because obviously, you don't give a shit about the fans to make a play like that, to make a statement like that, to do anything like that, for one. And for two, to do that is essentially taking me as a fan, throwing me out in the Sahara Desert and saying, oh, don't worry about that. Even though we did this, you'll be fine. Oh, by the way, here's a peppercini. Here's a jalapeno if you get hungry. That's what that was. That's taking somebody, throwing them in the damn desert and saying, oh, but don't worry, we got you some food. Here's some ghost pepper wings. That's exactly what that was. That is taking a situation where we've been hurt, we've been suffering, we've been in pain, we've been pissed off, we've been emotional roller coaster, we've been just put through the damn ringer this season when the expectations were so high. Then you fail on all that stuff, and then you make a statement like that, and that's just basically kicking me in the sack and then telling me, oh, by the way, at least you can still have kids. That's the epitome. That's just the climax of it all right there. It doesn't get any worse. You literally just threw us off a cliff and said, oh, well, we got you a life preserver, but good luck with the 300-foot drop hitting the water. That's what that was right there. If it couldn't get any worse, and I didn't think it could, that it just did. It literally just did. And for him to do that right after his job is secure, if anything, that tells me what he thinks about the organization as well. because how are you going to do that to the fans? I'm serious. I mean, I can't even think about putting on that jersey, that hat right now. The first thing that's going is right into the damn closet, and I might not even pull it out for next year. I'm not even joking. I can't even think about supporting or putting on memorabilia. And I got some new stuff at Christmas that I was excited to wear, especially when we started doing these videos. It's not even in my mind to put on a damn thing for the Eagles after listening to what he just said right there. That was it. I mean, I'm still going to root for him, but as far as going out of my way to talk about this team and stuff, screw it. You don't make a statement like that and have the fans' best interests at heart. You just don't do it. There is no way that's going to happen. No way. So
You can actually listen to it. It's gonna be. You can actually.
There's audio on this.
Yes, there's audio now. You can actually listen to it.
Yeah.
good.
Awesome.
Good. Just make sure I use a plastic phone so, it's broke. But yeah, I'm not going to be, it's going to be a while before I'll catch
the draft before you even talk Eagles.
No. Yeah, it's going to
That's
be
April, so that's several months away.
it's going to take several months. That was so bad, so disheartening, and so painful to listen to read that I don't even know how to put into words how I'm feeling right now, even though I just spent 20 minutes. I mean, I still feel like that wasn't enough. That's just that just takes it all. That's horrible. I can't even believe it. I just
Coaching to win.
Yep. And we're going to continue to coach to win as long as this guy's in this organization, and he's going to continue to coach for the first round pick and coach for the first pick in the draft, because that's where we're headed. And then the upper management can go ahead and screw us out of that. I can't wait to see who we miss out on this year. What player that gets drafted after our selection at the same position turns into an all-star while our guy averages 1 catch for 6 yards. I can't wait. What is there to be excited about? That's what happens every time. I mean, if we had DK Metcalf right now, who knows what could be going on? Compared to Arcega-Whiteside, it's a joke.
He'd be on IR.
Yeah. Well, yeah. No, Peterson would probably bench him because he did it to win and put in Arcega-Whiteside. And then what'll be even nicer is I can't wait till Arcega-Whiteside, forget the fact he had a good game tonight, I can't wait for him to get the hell out of Philadelphia. Watch him go to another team and turn into Aguilar Part 2, where now this guy has got Velcro on his hands and can't drop a ball, where while he was with us, he was either non-existent or you wish he was. So I can't wait for that. But horrible. That was so bad. And I was really hoping to, even though we had a sucky year, ended on a positive note. But he even took that. He literally took that. Usually I like it when people buy me dinner before they screw me. But he didn't do that. He just, yeah. So, boy, let's just put it this way. If you guys enjoy what you saw this year, it's going to be more of the same stuff next year. And we hope that you guys enjoyed this, because we had a blast, literally. It's been interesting to say the least this season. So, if you like what you saw, make sure you hit the like button, subscribe, all that fun stuff. Make sure you check out DENT SPORTS over here on the corners, as well as the Clip Joint for Clippers news, and Denver and Detroit news on the ends. Next season we'll be switching it up a little bit, but we're still going to be bringing you guys the weekly reviews and previews. Just might be in a little bit different format. So
lots more to look forward to. And as football and basketball and hockey and baseball season starts up, we're going to start bringing out more content for each of those sports on this channel. So thank you guys for watching. And I'm Bryson.
I'm Bennett.
I'm Steve.
And I'm Don.
And we'll see you guys in the next video if I make it that long.